Well, how are you doing, Stampin' Friends? Are you feeling a bit cooped up? Sun's out here for just a few brief moments, I'm afraid. We have had kind of gray days the last couple of days, but um, so where did we leave off? We left off, my last newsletter was explaining how the card classes that I hold on the fourth Tuesday of every month in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Actually, what is the time? They would be going on right now, this very minute, if they had happened. But the venue where we hold it quite properly decided to shut down and close their building to non-staff personnel, basically. And they notified me that by email at just about the same instant that I had made the decision. I think this was back on Friday the 13th that this was decided. So just about the same moment that I made the decision, I was going to contact them and let them know that I was canceling my class on Tuesday the 24th, which is the day I'm recording this right now. Um, I went to my email service to type them that email and found that they had beat me to the punch and told me that there wouldn't be no card class anyway. Um, so I notified you of that, I believe the following day, and said, I'll get back to you when I have some decisions made of how we're going to do something online. So that is the purpose of this video, to let you know what I know about my upcoming card class that's going to be online, and it's going to be this coming Friday. So it's going to be, what is that, 3 days from now at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Starts at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, Pacific time. So everybody looking at this is invited to join me, whether I know you or whether you know me or whether you're a customer of mine or not. Just it's a come one, come all thing. Let me tell you a little bit about the platform we're going to use and then a few little more details. I don't know all the details. I'm still inventing it as we go along. Every hour gets a little bit clearer in my head, but here's what we're going to do. We're going to work with the service called Zoom. Now, every time I say that to somebody, they go, isn't that a diet plan? And, no, that's Noom. Zoom is a communications application that has been around for a number of years. I've used a version of it for several years for quite a number of things. And it's kind of, many of you listening to me today may actually be familiar with Zoom. If you are suddenly finding yourself working remotely, your employer may have set you up with communication with your teammates via this Zoom platform. If you're familiar with GoToMeeting, this is similar to that. If you're familiar with Skyping, where you have kind of a one-on-one conversation with somebody via the internet and your devices, it's kind of similar to that. Except the difference is that unlike what I believe Skype is, Zoom will allow you to communicate one to many. Okay, so I have recently upgraded my Zoom account, so I can have as many as 100 people in my classroom at a time. Not that I expect anywhere near that many, but technically I could accommodate that many. So let me see. I've got some notes here, see what I'm supposed to be telling you. We're going to use a unique format. If you have been to my classes before, my person-to-person, in-person card classes, you know that when we all get there, I have already prepared cardstock for you. It's cut to size. I have prepared sample cards for you to copy. I provide the stamps and the ink pads and the dies and all the other accessories that you need to put it all together. And you walk out of there with cards that are, if not identical to mine, then very, very similar to mine. that would be impractical for us to do on this much short notice. And I really, really, really wanted to get this in before the end of the month. So, before the end of the week, actually. So we're going to do, like I said, Friday the 27th at 1 o'clock. And I'm not sending out pre-cut packets to everybody. First of all, I don't even know who the everybody is. I don't know your addresses. You're just going to join me online. I will give you, while we're online, I will give you some information about how to put your cards together. So I'm assuming that you already have a reasonable supply of cardstock, ink pads, dies, if you like to use those. Stamps, obviously. Dies, embossing folders, ribbons, all the stuff that we stampers always use. You will be using your own supplies. And so don't worry about whether you have any specific color, because you're going to be selecting your own colors as well. More about that as we get closer. Once you are registered and have indicated that you're coming to the event, then I will give you even more details about how to put that all together, because there is going to be a little bit of preliminary homework that I will suggest that you already have done by the time we gather together at 1 o'clock on Friday afternoon, Pacific time, that is. So you'll need to change that for your own local time. I know that, 1 o'clock would be 4 o'clock Eastern, if that's helpful to anybody. Okay. How much is the fee to attend? Nothing. So it is free to attend, and you can participate in the class part, or you can just watch it. But I hope that many, or preferably most of you, will actually participate in the class part. Okay? So in my newsletter, I will include a link. Let me back up a little bit. I need to tell you just a little bit about Zoom, because I know not everybody's familiar with it. It is very easy to use. It's very user-friendly, okay? It's a platform that you can use on your mobile devices. So if you have a tablet or a phone, you download the software for it from wherever you get your apps, whether it's a Apple Store or Google Play. And you can use a laptop, and you can use a desktop, as long as they've got webcam. So for instance, I'm using my desktop right now, and I will use my desktop with its webcam on the day of class. So when I'm speaking, it's going to look very much what you're seeing right here. I hopefully will change my clothes between now and then, but basically you'll see me this way. Everybody else who chooses to be on camera can be on camera, and you will see all of those people in the classroom as well. Everybody who chooses not to be on camera or is not comfortable downloading software to their mobile device I have set it up so you can actually, there'll be an 800 number. You can actually call in and just listen to the event. It won't be quite as much fun, but it's certainly doable. Let's see, what else did I want to say? Oh, back to how you do this. So I will send you or you will find in the newsletter an attached link. And so you can click on that link, and it will take you directly into the classroom. You don't have to have a Zoom account. You don't have to pay for anything. I have the account. I'm paying paying the subscription account for the Zoom, paying the subscription fee for the Zoom account. We'll get those words straightened out there. And I will invite you via that link to join me in my classroom. So that's what you do. And so there'll be a short invitation when you click on that link, and you will read through it, click to register. It's a real simple registration. It's just a few questions I've asked you to fill out, and submit that. And then as we get closer, I will probably email those of you who have registered and tell you, here's how you do your homework, here's what you ought to do in advance to just be really ready to rock and roll when we get started at 1 o'clock. The format is not set in concrete yet, but I will tell you that what I'm thinking to do is pretty much on the hour for those first three hours is where I will come on and orient you to what we're going to do, and I'll give you some examples, I'll give you some suggestions about the card that we're going to work on, and then we'll just disband for a while. You'll go back to your craft room workstation and make your card, and then we'll come back at 2 o'clock. Remember, we start at 1. We'll come back at 2 and we'll do the second card, and at 3 we'll come back and do the third card. So we'll just work our way through that. We're going to make 3 cards. I think that about covers it for now. I don't want anyone to be afraid of Zoom, even if you've never done it before, because every single one of us was brand new at the beginning. I've set it up so that when you first join the room, your camera will be off, and I believe your audio will also be off. I do recommend, if you intend to speak, that you have some kind of earphones and microphone. So it could be like earbuds or what are those funny things that look like little white cigarettes sticking out that the Apple users use? Those would work, or a headset, anything like that that will provide a cleaner sound. In general, I have set it up so everybody will be muted when you first enter the room, so you don't have to worry about, stage fright. You don't have to say anything. I'll be the one that starts the speaking. And if you have something that you want to say, there'll be a way to let me know that you'd like to be recognized, and I can turn the microphone over to you so that you can say what you'd like, but you would have to turn on your microphone at that point. I think that's kind of a decent overview. If you are terrified of being on camera, you can even just not turn your video on. When you enter the room, like I said, your video is going to be turned off by default, and your microphone will be turned off by default. So we can't see you until you voluntarily click, and it will be right there on the screen. So you will click to turn your camera on. You will click to turn your microphone on if I ask you to, but I'm going to ask you to just keep yourself muted. In general, we will be recording this so that anyone who misses it for whatever reason will be able to go back and watch the recorded version. So we want clean audio. So that's why everybody will be muted unless I recognize you to speak, and then one person speaking at a time. The reason for the headphones or the earbuds would be so that if you're like on my setup, for instance, my computer has a microphone, and it also has, of course, built-in speakers. So input would be coming through the microphone, output would be coming through the speakers. Well, when I'm speaking, or if you were speaking, then the sound is going into the microphone, but it's also coming back out the speakers. And so that's how you get that echo. Sometimes if you've ever listened to somebody doing a recording and you have that echo that just kind of reverberates back and forth, it's because their speakers are pushing sound out, and that's getting caught in the microphone, which is pushing the same sound back in at the same time they're speaking. So you get that really discomforting echo sound. So earbuds or a headset or something like that will eliminate that if you intend to speak. If you're not going to speak, don't worry about it. Doesn't matter if you're going to just stay on mute the whole time. All right, I'm going to back off out of here and click that button and join us.